If you're on Medicare, you remember, and I'm gonna do a quick knowledge base about Medicare. Medicare Part A covers what? Hospitalization. Medicare Part B covers doctors, medical. Medicare Part D for dog is prescription, good job. And then Medicare Part C is Medicare Advantage. So with original Medicare Part A and Part B, the government pays 80%, you pay 20%, right? So if your hospital bill is $100,000, you're gonna pay $20,000 if you have just original Medicare. If your specialist bill is $2,000, you're gonna pay $200 on original Medicare because you have a 20% co-insurance. 20% co-insurance can be a very big number, so you have two options of how you can get that 20% covered. One is through a Medigap plan. A Medigap plan is you pay up front, you may or may not use it. Usually these plans are anywhere from $100 to $300 for the Medigap plan, but when you go into the hospital, you don't have any co-insurances or co-payments. There is a Part B deductible of $257 on the Plan G. Medigap, to help you pay the 20%, you pay up front whether you use it or not, and they are additional $100 to $300 per month. If you start with the Medigap plan at age 65, you probably got a guaranteed issue where they don't do medical underwriting and where they're not charging you based on the medication you take, but based on your health condition. That's a Medigap plan. You guys can get a Medigap plan, but if you are past that guaranteed issue window, which is 65, then you're gonna pay the premium at the cost of your undergoing underwriting. Now the other side to having your 20% co-insurance covered is a Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare Advantage plans say you pay as you go. These are typically what the plans that you guys are on now is Medicare Advantage. With Medicare Advantage, again, I say you pay as you go because most monthly premiums are $0. And then you may have a co-payment when you go to urgent care, ER, specialist visits. You get those additional benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Some people get food cards or home cards. And then your prescription plan is built inside of the Medicare Advantage. Now, what's going to happen for 2026, and we don't know these numbers, they're thinking that they're going to be released in October the 6th, but we all know that there is a new administration in our house, and you guys, I do not talk politics. I'm only here to talk about how it's going to affect your health insurance. So with our new administration, and they're going through, and they're cleaning up and cutting off and trimming up the slack and trying to get rid of a lot of costs. Over the years, from 25 on back, there has usually been a 5 to 7% increase with your Medicare Part B premium, the $185 that you're paying every month right now. That round about $5 to $10 every year. Well, they give you the raise on your Social Security, but then they raise the cost of your Medicare Part B. Like I said, these numbers are not in stone yet, but they are expecting them to be 8 to 12% this year. And I don't want to scare you guys. I just want to warn you that they are projecting these numbers to go up to about $206 to $220 per month. But again, once we know the actual numbers, of course we're going to send out information and let you guys know what these actual numbers are. So now if you have a Medigap plan and the Part B premium increases 8 to 12%, then your Medigap premium is going to increase drastically as well. And the reason why it increases drastically is because those prices are based on the Part B premium. And of course, prescription drug plan premiums will increase as well. Medigap pays what Medicare doesn't, so the higher Part B means higher Medigap medical inflation, hospitals. And the reason why these increases are coming is because of medical inflation to hospitals, drugs, and equipment are costing more. And of course, the strain from COVID. Now, all the insurance companies are catching up with all of these claims, and we're really just starting to see what COVID did in these years when it comes to health insurance and the cost. And then of course there is a strain on Medicare and Social Security. Part D changes. Everybody remember for 2025 there's a maximum out of pocket on how much you pay for prescription drug coverage. The maximum out of pocket this year is $2,000. So when it comes to prescription drug coverage, there are 5 tiers based. Tier 1 is preferred generic, Tier 3 is preferred brand, Tier 4 is brand, Tier 5 is specialty. It doesn't matter what plan you have a prescription drug plan, and there are 5 tiers on that plan. Tiers 1 and 2 are typically $0. Those are your preferred generics and your generics. Now tiers 3, 4, and 5 usually have a co-payment or a co-insurance, and they're usually a higher co-insurance. If you're on a medication and they fall on tiers 3 and 5, The most you have to pay out of pocket this year is $2,000. Next year is $2,100. Next year they will continue to have the prescription payment plan, and that's when you can go to a pharmacy, or they will ask you, do you want to sign up for the prescription payment plan? Because if you have a medication that's on tiers 3, 4, and 5, you probably have a deductible of about $500. For next year, that deductible is going to be, for 2025 it was $590. For 2026 it's $615, and that's again tiers 3, 4, and 5. If your medication isn't on the plan formulary, this does not apply to you. You're paying out of your pocket for the entire medication for the rest of the year. So I always tell people, when you go to the doctor, and if the doctor puts you on a new medication, ask the doctor to put you on a generic that is on your plan formulary. Make them do some homework, because they typically don't like to do homework. You tell them, put me on a medication, but make sure it's on my plan formulary as a generic. Alright, again, you can opt in for the prescription payment plan. You just have to remember, by the end of the year, the payment plan has to be paid up. It will be counted as a charge-off. Changes to Medicare Advantage this year. We talked about changes to premiums. We talked about Part D. Now let's talk about changes to Medicare Advantage plans. Typically in the past, one of the major changes is the maximum out of pocket. Maximum out of pocket normally has been about $10,000 if you're out of network. The max out of pocket, the most that you're going to pay if something catastrophic was to happen. That's your maximum out of pocket. Out of network, $10,000. In network, about $6,000. And these are just estimates. This year is projected to go up to be about $14,000. Now, how do you get out of potentially having to pay $14,000 if something catastrophic was to happen? You get a hospital indemnity plan. I sing them every year, you guys. So a hospital indemnity plan is similar to your Aflac plans. They mirror your Medicare Advantage plan. When you go into the hospital, when you go into a skilled nursing facility, if you have outpatient surgery, if you have any type of therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, if you have outpatient surgery, if you have a hospital indemnity plan, usually about additional $50 a month, with your Medicare Advantage plan, which is usually $0 a month, then it will pay the cost of your co-payments for hospitalization, which is a bigger co-payment, skilled nursing facility. And I'm just going to put some numbers out there. These are just estimates. But you guys, hospitalization on Medicare Advantage is typically days 1 through 7, anywhere from $300 to $500 per day. Skilled nursing facility days 1 through 21, usually about $0. Days 21 through 100 is usually about $214 per day, depending on the plan that you're on. These numbers can be big, and trust me, I know, because 3 years ago my father fell, and he cracked the back of his skull, and we had ambulance co-payments, we had ICU co-payments, we had skilled nursing facility co-payments. He came home, he had to have speech, occupation, and physical therapy, $40 each, 3 days a week for 6 weeks. All of from one fall, his co-payments added up to be about $9,000 from one little fall. $9,000. But because he had a hospital indemnity plan, he paid $0 for that fall. So my advice to you guys is pair a hospital indemnity plan with your Medicare Advantage plan. That way you will eliminate that $10,000, $14,000 maximum out of pocket.
Wow.
If I ask you guys what a hospital indemnity plan is, or go ahead.
Yeah, what is, how much usually does that cost for that extra?
If
indemnity plan.
If you're about 65, about $50 to $60, depending on the way that you fix the plan up. The other thing is, previously in 2025 and before, the food cards, the home and food cards that come on the Medicare Advantage plans, people qualify for those food cards based on income. This, for 2026, that is changing. It is no longer based on income anymore. It is based on chronic conditions. Well, it was based on income, and it was based on major chronic conditions. So major chronic condition is having diabetes, cardiovascular, or a heart issue. Those are major conditions. And people qualify for a food and home card with those 3 chronic illnesses.
Insurance Corner.